As if the competitive admissions process and impending student debt weren't enough, college hopefuls now have another headache to add to their list: the FAFSA. This year, the decades-old federal student aid application rolled out late, with some serious mistakes, delaying and even preventing some students from applying. GBH's higher education reporter Kirk Carapeza has been covering the story. He joins me now, along with Bob Bardwell, Executive Director of the Massachusetts School Counselors Association. Tell us, what is the problem with the FAFSA this year?
Well, this is the form that's so important to millions of Americans, right? Nearly 70 million Americans fill this out every year, and it's critical for them, for these students to know how much financial aid they're going to get so they can make their college decisions, right? So this year, the issue is that it came out late, right? There was a congressional mandate for the Education Department to fix this form. The Democrats and the Biden administration claimed that they weren't given sufficient time and funds to pull this off. But what happened was it didn't come out until the end of December. That's 3 months later than it was expected. And then once it was out, it was only available for a few hours a day. There were glitches. The website would crash. One college counselor told me it was trying to get Taylor Swift tickets. The website kept crashing, or in my case, it was like Pearl Jam tickets. But the issue was these students can't fill out the forms so that they can find out how much scholarships they're receiving from the colleges, and so they can't make their decisions. And in the end, this really threatens to harm, the very students that the form is intended to help the most.
I see. So, Bob, it's your fellow counselors are the ones who are trying to manage this problem and solve it. Can you tell us how they're doing that and how this is impacting their lives?
Well, we're doing the best we can. As was mentioned, it's come out late, so we're 3 months behind schedule. And there's been a lot of bumps, and there's still some issues that need to be addressed. What's most problematic is that colleges won't receive any of this data until mid-March at the earliest. And typically, they've already received this information in January for those that have applied. Previously, the opening of the form was on October 1. So again, 3 months behind, and you're dealing with delays for the colleges. So if they're not going to start getting the information from the federal government until mid-March, that means students probably won't be getting financial aid packages until sometime in April. Typically, students have until May 1 to make a decision and make a deposit on which school they want to apply to. But with this all being pushed back, we're going to have a very short time period for students to evaluate all their offers of admission and financial aid offers. So it's threatening that May 1 deadline. A lot of schools are postponing or pushing their deadline to June 1st. So it's just become a really challenge for students and counselors who are advising them, as well as colleges who need this information sooner.
So for those of us who last filled out this form considerably longer ago than we want to admit, what is involved in filling this out that you need months to do it?
Well, it's notoriously complex, and a lot of financial aid information, tax information. Some advocates think that, they should just eliminate the form altogether and say, well, if the IRS already has your tax information, why do students have to fill out this additional form? They have simplified it, and those counselors and students that have filled it out successfully say that it is easier. One of the major issues, or I would say one of the key glitches, was that the new form didn't account for inflation, and that is taking a long time to correct on the back end. And so that's where the delay is. You can log on and fill out the form now, but the colleges won't know how much to award because they're still figuring out how to account for that mistake. But yeah, it's a notoriously complex form, and I think the concern that I'm hearing from some of counselors that Bob works with and the students is that some students might not get the help that they need. Right? We have there's a inequity in the system here where students in rural and urban districts might not have as much help as students in more wealthy suburban districts, right? Or even families that can afford to pay private advisors to help their families fill out these forms. So some students might just give up on this, and that's a major concern. Others might fill it out, but they might not get the aid that they need in time, and they might not decide to go to college altogether. And I think you have to ask, why does that matter to the rest of us who are out of college? This comes at a time where we need more students in college, and we need more college graduates to meet the workforce demand, and we've lost 1 million college students over the last decade.
So the Department of Education has taken some steps, I believe, to try and improve this process and kind of
Right.
rescue the situation. They're deploying federal personnel to under-resourced schools,
Right.
funding for technical assistance. They're reducing verification requirements, and they're suspending program reviews for eligibility.
Right.
Are you seeing any signs that this is helping?
Yeah, so the Education Department announced this earlier this month. The idea is to have a FAFSA college support strategy, and I think the key thing is to provide, quote, high-need colleges with the support they need to process these applications more quickly, to remove some of the bureaucracy. I think the concerns that I'm hearing are coming from the college counselors, because they don't think that this changes anything on the front lines. They're still the ones dealing with the students to get these forms in.
So, Bob, it's your counselors who are on the front lines, and I mean, so on average, there are 408 students being managed by each college counselor. In Massachusetts, we're a little bit luckier than that. It's 362 to 1. Talk to us. I think most people have little sense of what that involves. Talk to us about what trying to get 362 of these forms in is like for Massachusetts counselors.
Sure. Well, that's an average of counselors to students, but it will depend on the school because not every counselor is assigned seniors. So you may have, of those 400, say you have 100 in each grade. But if your ratio is lower than that, then you may have fewer seniors. Or some counselors only do seniors, or they rotate, or what we call loop with the group. So they might only do the college piece every 4 years. So it depends where you are at. But yes, you have, whether you have 20 or 80 or 100, it's still a lot, especially if their needs are great. And obviously, as you mentioned, in our rural and urban areas, we have students with greater needs, perhaps, and fewer resources. So they might only have the person in school to help them. And if that person isn't clear because they're learning along with them, right? I think that's one of the challenges of anything new is I'm learning along with my students what the form is like and how it's different. And next year will be better because I'll know what happened this year, but it's a real challenge right now. So, and keep in mind, for many of our counselors, the college admission piece is only one piece of what they do. They are still responsible for scheduling and working with academic issues, and they still may be responsible for students' mental health challenges. And as we know, those are greater now than ever before. So on top of all the other day-to-day stuff, you're now presented with this newer challenge in a shorter period of time. And, college application and financial aid is stressful as it is. And now you're adding this next newer level and higher intensity. Like, if I don't get aid, I can't go to school. And now aid is being held up by the federal government. So there's a lot of frustration, even though the students may have filled out. There's about 4,000 who have already filled out the application thus far in this cycle, but they're just in a holding pattern. They've done what they can, but now they just have to wait. And waiting as a teenager is hard enough. And now waiting to this form will determine whether I can go to college and what school I may go to. And it's being held up due to no fault of my own. I've done what I needed to do when I needed to do it. And now the federal government in this case is holding up. And I get why, it needs to be right, but it's just unfortunate that our students are suffering as a result.
Yeah, I remember as a teenager, I think patience was a big part of my emotional spectrum. So, I mean, is there anything that the state government can do that it hasn't done so far?
I mean, some schools are working with nonprofit organizations like You Aspire or Bottom Line that are, they have counselors and administrators who are trained in working in the schools. They're trying to step in and make sure people know that, that it is available. The form is available. You can fill it out. It's just there's this waiting game. Some colleges have pushed the deadline. The deadline is usually May 1st to make a decision, but it's only a handful of schools that have done that so far. There is a push from agencies like the American Council of Education to kind of encourage more schools to push these deadlines out further. But if you're a young, low-income student and you're debating whether you should go into the workforce immediately and make money for your family and to put food on the table or go to college, and this huge question mark is hanging over your college decision, you can see how this might affect your ultimate decision.
Sure. And Bob, any message that you want to convey to the students and parents who might be watching the show, thinking about this, how they're going to handle the next few weeks and months?
Sure. Well, first of all, fill out the form and do what you need to do now. And not everyone can. Let's make that point, too, that some students whose parents don't have a Social Security number are still limited in not being able to fill that out. So that's a kink in the system that hasn't been worked out yet. So that obviously will involve or impact a great number of students. So, however, if you can do it, and as was mentioned earlier, it is called the Better FAFSA, and it is simplified. You do pull the data directly from the IRS. So if you've completed your taxes, then obviously that helps. So families who have done what they need to do will probably be in good shape other than waiting. And as I mentioned earlier, waiting is really hard. Students and families are impatient. They want to know. But the good news is nobody else is getting it, right? So it's not like I'm getting a decision and you're not. We're all in the same boat. We have to wait and we have to be patient. So, check the box. I've done this. I'm now waiting, and go and do something fun. Do something fun with your friends, your family, embrace this opportunity of like, hey, I got a break in my college process and I'm going to enjoy my senior year and do something fun. And then when the data starts coming in and you get that, then you start up, okay, which school am I going to go to? How am I going to, narrow down the list? If I've gotten into 10 schools and I've gotten aid packages to 10 schools, how do I make that down? Because at some point I have to pick one, right? I can't go to 10 schools all at once. And so that idea is you could be doing that research, but without the aid, you don't even know, and you don't even know if you've been admitted. So if you haven't been admitted, then don't go planning to visit a school you may not get into. And then you don't know if you can afford it. So those are pieces that, again, are going to delay that process. So April and May will be very tight and will be very challenging for some students, especially if they still have a lot of colleges on their list.
Okay. Can't think of a better message to end for Valentine's Day than go out and do something fun. Kirk Carapeza, Bob Bardwell, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thank you.